These women are gathering materials to begin the process of weaving, an art taken for granted and revitalized in part due to the Immigrant Center in Honolulu.
We got calls, people would say, the Immigrant Center? What's the Immigrant Center doing with weaving? It didn't seem to match.
Amalia Pohulu moved to Hawaii 10 years ago from the Kingdom of Tonga. Moralameka is from Western Samoa. Both are among several master weavers discovered on Oahu.
When she was young, she just learned it from her from her mom.
As a member of the Pacific Island Weavers Guild, Amalia gives demonstrations to schools. One goal of the guild is to teach youngsters the tradition of working with their hands and native fiber.
And remember I told you, did I tell you last time that Tongans wear mats around their waist?
Yes.
Did I tell you that? And why do they wear mats around their waist?
Usually
in respect for the king.
Dr. Deacon Ritterbush is an anthropologist. She pioneered the Weavers Guild here in Hawaii. As a developmental specialist of Pacific Island issues, Dr. Ritterbush first learned the culture of the weavers as a young woman living in Tonga, Samoa, and Fiji.
This is using for weaving Tonga. Fine mat.
And one of the things that has become very clear to me is that good economic development is also social development, meaning that you build on activities that people like and enjoy, and then you find a way to market it or develop it, perpetuate it, promote it. So when I started with this weaving project, I didn't really have that in mind, this Pacific Island Weavers Guild. I was just designing a project to assist a group of elderly Pacific Island women, get them out of the housing. They lived in public housing, they were taking care of their grandchildren, or they were just lonely. They'd moved up here from the islands to be with their children. And I thought, well, I know they have fantastic weaving skills. They're good fiber artists.
With the exception of the Hawaiian weavers, all of these women come from another country, another island, Tonga, Samoa, Fiji. What they lack is understanding American culture. What they have is extraordinary skills for craftsmanship.
When they come here to Hawaii and some of those ceremonies are not conducted here, or they're not involved in the same way, many of them have difficulty adjusting to life here in the U.S. because they don't know what role they're supposed to play.
We thought that there was a communication gap between the older people and the younger kids. So we designed a program to use the skills that they had brought with them, in this particular case, weaving skills.
They don't speak very good English. They'll never work in the modern sector. They don't want to work in the modern sector. So I got some funding from the State Foundation on Culture and the Arts to start this project, this guild at the Immigrant Center. And so then we sent out notices in different languages, advertising for people who are fiber artists.
30 immigrant women answered the notices, and of those, 10 became the first members of the Pacific Island Weavers Guild.
Center, they really remind you, and you really do whatever you have in your country. Like us, that lady doing the lauhala, we call it in Tonga, lo'akau. So it's a custom thing. We still want to hold with that.
Well, in most of the islands, the women play a very important economic and social role through the mats that they weave.
Then we had Native Hawaiians begin to ask us if they could join the guild. We really wanted that to happen, but the Immigrant Center can only cater to immigrants. So we had to figure out a way to bring all groups together. We did that by holding a conference. The Islander Weaves Conference. It was very successful. I thought maybe 60 people would come. Well, we had over 150 who came from all the neighbor islands.
We have all different people from the South Pacific, as Hawaii people too, from the island of Kona and Maui.
What came out of that meeting was we need to have an organization that advocates for these weavers. So we formed an organization called TAPA, the Association for Pacific Island Fiber Arts.
We learn from one another, and that's the purpose of this conference. I believe that it's wonderful.
The Weaving Project, the Weaving Conference, the Guild is designed to bring the value of these traditional skills.
TAPA, as an organization, continues to grow through projects in which the weavers share their skills with youngsters in local schools.
It's kind of fun. You get to make stuff for your parents and stuff. Because I like it and it's fun to do.
The wonderful thing about all the exhibitions and the demonstrations we've been doing is that it legitimizes this work.
So it's not that they are newcomers to this island, to this country, that are taking. They've also given. They have something to give us. We have something to learn from them.